society to a degree, and I mean, to a degree, we were all kind of ostracized.
They gave in because it was really hard.
Do you think you'd have gotten a hard time if New York City found out that you were having sex partings during COVID?
Yeah, it would have been a big thing. Yeah, it would have been real embarrassing.
I ain't gonna lie. Maybe it's the skeptic. Maybe it's just like the skeptic in me, or like I don't know, this like the untrusting side of me. But if anybody would have asked me that, I'd been like, "You got me on camera? What type of question is that? Bro, what type of question is that?"
I'm gonna be real with you. Steven Crowder is smart because he sends in women, and bro.
Oh man,
but men can't stop talking about what they doing around women. Like, what you mean, man? I'm big boss, man. I make people follow this. I make people follow that. And I'll host sex parties on the side, baby, man. Man, catch the word, baby.
Right, low key.
He flexing, bro. He over there with the leg up, taking a nice little drink, going like, yeah, I'm that guy.
Like I said, if you got it, man, ain't nobody mad at you. I understand a lot of y'all were mandated to get it, so
I want you to take yourself back to March of 2020. Okay, mentally. The beginning of the COVID pandemic. Right, the streets of New York City looked like a dystopian sci-fi movie.
It was cool.
Albeit with less charm and more hobo urine. No. More than normal for New York City. No, it was even worse than the rest of the country. Thousands of businesses were forced to close. Millions of New Yorkers lost their jobs overnight, and loved ones were forced to die alone in quarantine. And the man you're about to meet is responsible for all of it, Dr. J. Varma.
I spent my career, I worked for the CDC for 20 years, so I kind of lived all over the world doing infectious disease work. So I used to spend time doing public health where I go to different, so I lived in Bangkok and in Beijing and in Ethiopia. And so what I did was, my job was to go and help countries like build their systems to detect and respond to diseases. So kind of like during COVID where you had to set up a testing program and a vaccination program and you need to monitor the numbers. And that was like the type of thing I did for my career at CDC.
And this is Dr. J. Varma. So Dr. J, J-A-Y, look him up, V-A-R-M. This is him talking his shit. He talking big talk right now, man. Like, bro, what you mean?
You could tell, like I said, he's on like a Tinder or Hinge date, and Shorty's just probably got like a pinned camera or like, I don't know, maybe her phone or something like that.
It's a pinned camera, gotta be,
because ain't no way he didn't notice a camera. She got like a camera in her glasses or some shit.
Man, I think you can record people without the permission in New York.
Oh, it's not a two-party consent state?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Oh, wow, shit.
So what I did was, my job was to go and help countries like build their systems to detect and respond to diseases. So kind of like during COVID where you had to set up a testing program and a vaccination program and you need to monitor the numbers. And that was like the type of thing I did for my career at CDC, go to different countries and help them do that. The mayor's team contacted me because I was in New York before that, and they contacted me to come back. So I moved back from Ethiopia to New York to run the COVID response for the city. So I like set up all the testing and vaccine programs for the city. I actually was the one who convinced the mayor to make it a mandate. I was on TV for about a year and a half. So I was on a press conference every day for a year and a half, every morning at 10 o'clock.
So he was the one that made he convinced the mayor of Brooklyn, pretty much, or mayor of New York, to make it a mandate?
That's what I'm saying. They were all getting advice from medical professionals. So people like him, people like Fauci, I mean, I'm going to watch what I say here, but we should really be turning our attention and our anger towards people like that rather than the leadership who was getting advice from these medical professionals. And we to further that point, we need to question what was incentivizing them to push these narratives. Was it Big Pharma? Was it their pockets getting lined? Was it the benefits they received? Who knows? I'm just asking questions.
Somebody check their bank account.
I'm just asking questions.
What?
Yeah, with the mayor. I have to sit next to him.
For COVID?
Yeah, for COVID, yeah. I'm very Googleable, but I'm not like...
Okay, I didn't Google you. Maybe I should have.
You can Google me now.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, he flexing like he said. Oh, no, what'd he say?
You can Google me now.
Okay.
Told you.
If that turns you on.
If that turns you on. Oh!
Oh,
So yeah, Google me, baby. If that
man, Google me, man. Look, I'm the one who make people do what they don't want to do, man. Hey, look, I talk to the mayor. And I say, like, man, you gonna make people take that
So
shot.
if you into that kind of thing, baby, Google me, man. I might, get the motion in your ocean going.
Like, come on, baby, come on, man. Big dog, you talking to right now, man?
Oh man, that is hilarious.
Hey, you want to know why everybody here got vaccine? Me right here, baby.
Dog, baby. You ain't see me on TV every morning at 10? That was me, baby.
Man, on C-SPAN.
Yeah.
Now, there's more to Dr. Varma than mere medical tyranny here. It's a classic story of the rules for thee, but not for me, as we see with a lot of unelected bureaucrats. But this story is not one about
He's
hypocrisy.
supposed to be a technocrat.
I want to be
really.
clear. Everyone's a hypocrite. It's not lost on me. This is a story about those in charge not fearing what it is that they demanded you fear in a way that altered your life. You were told to fear going to church.
Open our churches.
You were told to fear meeting family, fear running your business, or even vote. Remember that?
Yeah,
it
don't
was
go
so
see Graham
dangerous,
Graham.
you needed to vote from home by any means possible, while you, the peasants, were locked down and not allowed to gather with more than 10 people at a time. Elites like Jay Varma, well, he was hosting sex parties.
Damn, shout out.
It's so funny. It's like because I did all this like deviant like sexual stuff while I was like like on TV and all this stuff.
Yeah.
He said, not only was I forcing people to take the jab, not only did I convince the mayor to make everybody in this room take a shot, but I was hosting sex parties too, baby, man. Here's the invitation, man. Here, you can get one too.
That's wild as hell.
My man.
So everybody was locked up. These bureaucrats, these technocrats, these celebrities, these influencers was partying on yachts. Sex crazed parties. I know Diddy was going crazy during this time.
Bro. Like, really?
People were like, aren't you afraid? Aren't you embarrassed? And I was like, no, actually, I'm like really like I love being my authentic self. So every type of range of everything.
Okay.
And I've been to a lot of like sex parties, lots of like play parties and stuff like that.
Okay, so what were the sex parties like during COVID?
So that I didn't. So I never
Damn.
went to a like public type one. We actually
got this
had
man on
a,
multiple
like,
dates.
My wife and I like had one with our friends.
My wife and I.
Oh, they're swingers. They're swingers. They're degenerates. They're sexual deviants.
Oh, my wife and I have one with our friends, and you're on a date with a girl? Okay. Yeah. Okay, yeah. It's crazy.
They're hedonist.
Like in August of like that first summer, because all our friends were just like, well, it wasn't so much sex. They were just like, I need to get like this energy out of me and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we rented
you
a
locked
hotel,
everybody
and we
up.
Kind of sort of, kind of sneaky about it because hotels didn't want people gathering there. Because I was like running the entire COVID response of the city. I like had a
AKA,
Wow.
he said, I made everybody else do 6 feet apart, but hey, man, when you want to have a sex party, that 6 feet apart don't work out so well. You feel me? So, like, I couldn't just go around doing a crowd of people and getting caught as the person who's pretty much convinced this entire city to, take a shot, 6 feet, mask up. And I'm over here at these sex parties with no mask and, obviously not 6 feet apart.
It's like Crowder said, rules for thee, but not for me. And man, that's sickening to know that. Like I said, while we was locked up, getting depraved from interaction with our family, friends, and the outside world, these people with power, the ones who were making the decisions, were literally willy-nilly going about their lives in secrecy, having these sex-crazed parties and doing as they please, while all of us were kind of like pent up inside our homes.
Yep.
Crazy.
Man, hey, man. Some
We
people
we
is
gaining weight, suffering from mental health issues, from
isolation.
yeah, literally, and these people is going sex crazy in hotels. It's sickening.
Man.
like I never to get tested the right way. Told me where to get tested, showed me the results.
Wow.
It was fun. We all like took like Molly and it was like
Tuesday.
8 to 10 of us. And
8, 9 to 10 of us taking Molly and ecstasy.
You talking about a medical professional?
Oh, person who talked to the mayor.
Oh man,
It's-
talking about some. We was on Tusi.
Man, you like, bro, we was having a good time. 8, 9 people, no 6 feet, no mask. Just saw a sex party. I'm like, oh, okay now. Okay.
Tuesday.
Oh, I'm done.
room, and everybody had a blast because everybody was like so pent up because it had been like everybody was just like, stuck together and stuff like that. Yeah, and sometimes it isn't so much about like executive stuff. Sometimes it's just something about like.
Whoa.
Whoa.
What did he say? I'm sorry.
Whoa.
Like everybody was just like stuck together and stuff like that. Yeah, and sometimes it isn't so much about like executive.
Penetrative sexual stuff. Some of it is just something about.
So it ain't always about dick and butter, dick and pussy. It's just about being close, being naked with one another.
It's about penetrating you. Oh, hell nah. Oh, hell nah, bro.
Oh, man. Lock this man up.
He's done. Lock him up. Take him to jail.
Bodies being close to each other, right? Just being like naked with friends.
Bro, how did I know he was going to say that? How did I know?
I didn't go to anything. Yeah, so it was just home in our home.
That's the fact that she got this man on multiple dates.
Dr. J. Varma.
Y'all go look this man up.
You devious bastard. Oh, man. I like it.
God damn.
I'm flexing on a day, flexing about sex parties and how he controlled what other people, or how he made the whole city lock down, mask up.
Badman.
Man.
Badman ting.
Obviously, he's bisexual, obviously.
It gotta be.
Yeah, wife, sex parties, close naked with friends.
I love the bros,
what's
but
going on?
they ain't gonna see my meat. I ain't gonna lie.
Like, man.
And you can't fuck my girl.
That was what we did during COVID. Because
two things that's off
it was like August 2020. All of our friends
call me crazy, bro.
friends,
Call me a bad
just,
friend,
like,
but these are two things that's off
like
limits.
pent up. And so I did like a whole like testing protocol for everybody. It was relatively small. I mean, small as in like no, COVID test. It was like 10 to 12 people.
He said, no, not STD test. No,
Oh,
I could care less
nah.
about that. But COVID, yeah, we did the COVID test.
Bro just said, oh, STD test? Wait,
Hell nah.
COVID test.
What you mean, hell nah?
Like, what? We.
STD test, hell no.
Okay, that's wild.
Okay, so violate the draconian lockdowns that the rest of the population has to follow for a mass sex party once, shame on me. Violate your own draconian mandates again over a year later when your rules only allow for a max gathering of 50 people so that you can attend a drug-fueled underground dance party with 4 times that number of people. Shame on.
Now, officials say gatherings continue to play a role in the increase. While anyone planning on a big party, officials are telling you, think again.
The only way I could do this job for the city was if I had some way to blow off steam every now and then.
Do you think you'd have gotten like a hard time if like New York City found out that you were having sex parties during COVID?
Yeah, it would have been a big deal. Yeah, it would have been a real embarrassment.
Yeah, you can keep it. Yeah, keep it.
Actually, the only time I felt kind of nervous was fairly early on, right when we were about to do the vaccine mandate, right before we did it. There hadn't been to any like dance clubs in New York City yet. And we went to some, we had a wild night, like we went to like a boat, there's always dance parties on boats. And then we went to some like underground like dance party, like underneath a bank in Wall Street. And we were all rolling, we were all taking Molly, and everybody's high. And I was so happy because I hadn't done that in like.
What's going on in New York?
I mean, bro, pretty much saying I got on a yacht. There was bitches and it was drugs and it was fun,
bro.
And we drove under a bank so nobody would see us in the boat while we were just all having a naked sex party while everybody was locked up in their house.
Underground. When he says underground, he's not talking about underground like not in the mainstream. He's literally talking about under the city streets. He said they were in an underground party underneath a New York bank. What the fuck is going on in New York?
That's cold. I mean, that's terrible. I mean, how dare he do that? But I mean, like,
and I ain't gonna lie, it sounds like that's where them Hasidic Jews was at.
Ooh, I mean, okay.
When they underground?
Yeah, they were underground. And
that's not a conspiracy.
No, it's not. But I mean, you really want to go there?
That's all I'll say.
Yeah, okay.
Like a year and a half, like a year or whatever. And but I was looking around, being like, I wonder if anybody sees me. They're gonna do it because this was not
Wait,
COVID
when
friendly.
was that?
It was like May or June of 2021. So it was like the spring.
The audacity
so the vaccines had become available,
honestly.
but nobody had really kind of thought about having like Well, I had never thought of going to a big Scott party.
Was the vaccine mandate out?
Not yet. It was for small groups. It was for certain city workers, but it wasn't. There wasn't a citywide. You can't go to clubs or bars yet. That happened in June.
So people were like losing their jobs at that time if they didn't get
There
it.
might have been, but not a. It's a very small number of people. Most people, everybody can get a vaccine.
How big was the party?
It was probably 200 people. It was like the bottom of some bank. And then when your turn comes up to get the vaccine, we want you to get that because that is the path to party.
Wear a mask. Keep 6 feet apart. Wash your hands. Get tested. Get vaccinated when it's your turn. And he did none of that. None of that. Huh.
Okay, so that seems bad at first glance and second and all of them. But I'm willing to bet that giant sex parties are not what you missed most, and certainly not what you missed out on most during the COVID pandemic, if you were in New York.
Never been to one, but I don't feel like I'm missing
probably
out.
Loved ones, holidays,
Like
family.
I've been to some parties, like, abandoned, like, warehouses.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
good
sure, great. But underground under a bank, I'm like, I feel like I gotta have a net worth or some type of title to get into there. I mean, net worth in maybe like, I don't know, 500K or more or something like that. And you gotta have a nice title that comes
For sure. I ain't just letting anybody in there.
Oh, God.
Underneath a bank is crazy though.
Man,
I want to see what that looks like.
I was gonna see you. I mean,
Like gatherings, especially around Thanksgiving and Christmas, at a time where Governor Cuomo was sicking law enforcement on unsuspecting citizens, and you were being chastised by your elected officials. What about that? What did Mr. Varma do then?
Health officials discouraging travel during the approaching holiday season as scores of cities are dealing with surges in coronavirus cases.
My wife's family was in Seattle, and they went back over Christmas, that first COVID Christmas. I couldn't go because publicly I encouraged New Yorkers not to travel. And so, the mayor was like, you really can't go with your family. You got to stay here. Because if they catch you on, if somebody takes a picture at the airport of you, they'll...
Did the mayor know about your party?
No, I don't talk about that part of my life.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, that one's pretty rough too. But I'm sure these...
I try to go on vacation. They say, bro, come on, bro. Like, I know we're capping, but like, really, dog, you can't go on no plane. We just when you're the one who told everybody to steady ass inside and don't travel.
And this brings up a perfect point when a lot of these medical professionals try and skew facts, skew data. You got to realize that a lot of these people are completely biased. This man is clearly biased as hell, telling us one thing and doing another himself. So a lot of times you have to apply some critical thought to where these stats, where this information is coming out of. Do some research into the person purporting the information, because a lot of times you don't know what their agenda is. This man lied in all of our faces, specifically to New Yorkers, while he was having drug craze fueled sex parties with his friends. Like, what the hell?
I mean,
and y'all call us conspiracy theorists for wanting to question everything. It's healthy, bro. Healthy skepticism is necessary in today's day and age. Y'all go around blindly believing folks, and you over here putting on a mask, distancing yourself from your family while the fucking technocrats are fucking their friends.
And facts.
People believe some of what they espouse. For example, a lot of you who didn't get the vaccine, right, because you believe there was some kind of natural immunity if you'd already had the virus, and you were told absolutely not. That's not the case, especially in New York. Social distancing masks, you need a minimum of 4 doses of the vaccine.
And if you're 50 years old or above, you need 4 doses.
I'm sure that's consistent.
Nah, you're sick.
When they don't know cameras are running, right?
I know people that won't have sex with someone that didn't get the COVID vaccine.
Oh, hell yeah.
And I don't know enough to know if that's like
Sorry, that's like a weird, I think that's a weird, belief that somehow, their body is different. There's not any difference at all. Everybody's been exposed to the virus, and they're exposed to the virus because it breathed on you or because you got injected you. It's the same immune response.
Okay, so it turns out science is a thing, and that one looks kind of bad. But let's not rush.
Wow.
Wow,
talk about a Freudian slip. And he didn't even realize he was making it. He literally admitted, bro, our body's not different. If you took the vaccine, didn't take the vaccine, everybody's been exposed to it. You're good to go. Herd immunity exists. The same shit we all knew to be the truth, the same shit they try to change our minds on, change the narrative on. The medical professional that low-key mandated the virus or mandated the shot in New York or mandated the lockdown in New York literally just admitted to it uncandidly on camera.
We just did it because it was fun.
Bro, it's so crazy, man. It's so crazy. I hope some of y'all are finally starting to see the the hypocrisy.
I mean, wow.
Or just the bold-faced lies, honestly. The bold-faced lies.
I'm low-key taken back by just the candidness of this. Like, oh, yeah, I just locked all you up. Sex party, man. I was living the life. I wanted to go with my family, but I told y'all all a lie, so I couldn't go out with my family. So, that sucked.
Judgment. Don't write Dr. Varma off as some power-hungry villain just yet. Good people sometimes do bad things, or they make mistakes. Those in charge could still have been looking out for you, and in no way does this prove that people like Dr. Varma get a thrill out of psychologically manipulating people to abuse their own power, exert control, while completely disregarding the life-destroying rules that they apply to people like you, right? Right?
When it comes to the vaccine, I think people will believe it more if it's really consistently validated by healthcare professionals.
Go to Blasio.
Yeah.
So how did you convince him to do the mandate?
Well, I had actually been talking to him about it since even before the vaccines were available. I was like, you're going to have to do it this way. And so he came up with this metaphor. We're going to climb this ladder. We're going to first start voluntarily, and then we're going to keep pushing it.
So the way we do it in public health is we make it very uncomfortable to be unvaccinated. Doing vaccines, like, you can't get a job, you can't go to a restaurant, you can't go to school. It's like, God, you're gonna get vaccinated.
Was it technically kind of forcing people?
Yeah, that's what you do. You force people by making it really uncomfortable. Your car comes with seatbelts and airbags. You have to actively, and it beeps all the time. So you can still drive without a seatbelt, right? The car doesn't shut off, but it beeps all the time.
Right. So brilliant.
Yeah, that's the whole idea. The whole idea is you build barriers so that people are like, this, I'm just gonna do it because I'm tired of being part of this.
So it was kind of forcing people.
Yeah, and the whole point of the education is
they try to break your will. They try to break the will of resistance. And I'm gonna be real with you, a lot of people got their will broken. And that's why they're just so complicit in what's going on today, what the left does. I'm like, well, the left already broke your will once. Shoot, I'll fight them now.
And when people said this was a test to test your compliance, I couldn't agree more after hearing this man admit to what he just admitted to. At the time, everybody was kind of a conspiracy theorist for thinking that, but this just confirmed what we all kind of knew in our hearts. Hold on, something is off here. Why are they doing it like this? Why are they making these rules up? The things we know to be healthy for us, they're trying to remove us from, like
sunlight,
socializing.
Yeah.
It just, I don't know. But him saying this on camera just confirmed what we knew to be true the whole time. Crazy as hell.
this is where I have all these talks and I give people in public health about it. It's people think, oh, I'm going to give you lots of information so you'll do the right thing. No, the reason I give you the information is so that I'm going to make it really hard to be unvaccinated. And then I'm going to also give you a lot of information about getting vaccinated and why it's good. So that once you finally say, it, I'm just going to get vaccinated, you at least know that, oh, well, at least they told me it's really safe. So do you understand the difference? They didn't get vaccinated because they heard it was safe. They gave in because it was really hard.
It's not so much about finding them and arresting them. It's about making the default, what we call the default choice, the easy one. So you just have to do it that way.
I mean, are people in Columbus smart enough to deal with this on their own?
No, that's why we require it. And that's why I told you about the education. It's I don't expect the education to change your behavior. I'm just going to make it really hard for you to do your job. And then I'll give you education so that when you finally give in, you'd be like, oh, well, I guess it was the right thing.
Wow. Yo. He said mandate it first, force you to get it first, and then we'll kind of give you some education on the back end to kind of subside your skepticism.
Pretty much say, yeah, we'll give you this self-confirming bias after you get it.
Bro,
like they do to you now.
Oh man, if this doesn't kind of just make you stand firmer in your belief, or this gives you a healthy level of skepticism, like I said, a healthy level of questioning things that we're being told or things that are being purported, I don't know what will. I don't know what will, bro.
Wildly enough.
Government officials over here admitting that they lied on camera. Bro, if you're not over here just questioning shit now, I'm really not sure what'll wake y'all up.
Senator Advisor for Public Health for the NYC Mayor's Office.
Like, bro, senior, like top. This man was the go-to man for COVID in New York. Like, wild as hell.
This is not a conspiracy.
And COVID,
this
New
is
York
like
had one of the most
people
aggressive
working
COVID responses.
flat out, doing the best they possibly can.
I think the important thing here is just, again, be led by the facts and the data.
Oh, the COVID vaccine.
Or the blackouts.
Yeah.
They're not cases. I don't agree with that. They're not cases. But the guys who are vaccinated are like right-wing nut cases.
Yeah, I mean, but okay, what do we do with those people?
That's why you have to have rules, because you can't convince them. You have to like just pass laws that say like you got to do this. And then I can do it. So that's what we do in public health. There's nothing else we can do. So I can't always just do what the right thing to do is. I have to also make sure it's the right thing with the whole like world of everybody else.
Yes, those nutcases for whom Varma made life exceedingly difficult. Interesting fact. One of those nutcases was NBA star Kyrie Irving.
I was literally thinking
the team just announced that superstar point guard Kyrie Irving won't play or practice with the team until he's eligible under the local COVID-19 vaccination mandate.
Part of the Brooklyn Nets.
They would not let that man play, and the owner literally came out and wouldn't agree or defend Kyrie either. And at that same time, it was the time he said the one thing or retweeted the documentary.
Oh, wow.
So they was on this man's ass. Wow. Shout out Kyrie, man. If you watching this, Kyrie, bro, you one of my favorite basketball players ever, man. And I stand with you, bro. I've always respected your stance on shit, bro.
It was Brooklyn. And the never mind.
There's a basketball player named Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving. He refused to get vaccinated. But because he played for the team in Brooklyn, because of the vaccine mandate that I passed, he was not allowed to play. So it became this huge national issue about why Kyrie Irving wasn't allowed to.
Man, and shout out Vladstein, man, $2 super chat. He said, this guy literally looks like a New York rat. Yeah, low-key. Oh, my God. Yeah, and he does very rat-like behavior as well. I ain't even gonna lie to you. This guy is... yeah, he's a piece of shit. I ain't gonna lie. That's really all I could tell you. He's a piece of shit.
Basketball because he was refusing to get vaccinated. Like, this is the fun part of my life. Right? So I got to be on. So the Wall Street Journal wrote a whole story about me being the one that blocked Kyrie Irving from playing basketball.
I was not expecting, a mandate to be brought down in a way that it wasn't going to allow me to play at all.
I just think he's passing on his ass because he's like trying to like I'm not in a position to tell him how to dribble better or how to shoot better. Like, I can be a fan and I can say, oh, okay, but I'm not going to be like, I can go coach him. Why is he turning around and saying that, like, I'm not going to tell him he doesn't know how to dribble and he doesn't do it. Like, don't tell me, like, how the science works.
There was no plan in place. There was no vision of, like, how it's going to work for our team. And I think that really impacted not just me, but a lot of people. So... just had to sit in that hot seat for a little bit and deal with it, man. Life of a martyr, bro.
Life of a martyr.
If only Kyrie Irving was having underground sex parties as opposed to trying to make a living through his elected profession. But the same, by the way, can be said of trade workers, business owners, employees all across New York, and, by the way, the country. Again, for you, the COVID policies were devastating.
The mayor admitting this morning the NYPD's social distancing enforcement efforts aren't working. A rough arrest of a young mother with her child in her hands.
Wow.
Life-altering.
Yeah, I was letting it go down, I guess.
But for people in charge, like Varma, it was actually pretty easy. Well, I'll let him explain it to you.
Oh, like, how did you not, like, go crazy during it? And I think the reason I didn't is because I felt like I had control.
Yeah.
It was getting done to you.
Yeah.
It was like, I was the one, like, making the decisions about what happened. So, like, I didn't feel like I was lost control.
For somebody clearly corrupt.
And I think that's what really ends up freaking any of us out. Like, when your life is, like, all uncertainty, it's tough, right?
And there it is. Control. People like Varma weren't scared because they were in control. You were scared because you had no control. It was all controlled for you. And there will be another installment on this. But before we get to that, did I mention, in reviewing this footage, I couldn't help but feel compelled to meet Mr. Varma. And so I flew to New York, and we had a little chat. We may never be able to get them to answer.
Really?
But today, I was able to ask Dr. J. Varma.
Oh my gosh!
Hey, nah, he's smooth for that. The undercover operation is crazy.
Yeah, I'm God. And if you're wondering, damn, when that's coming up?
Part
right
2
now.
right here. Let's get it. I know y'all, bro, I'm on the edge of my seat. I ain't gonna lie.
Let's go.
Architect of the policy, so those things are having sex parties and having dance parties while businesses are being shut down, and New York sees an unemployment that's twice the national average as a result of policy.
My wife and I had a party with like 10 people who everybody got vaccinated. Not vaccinated, everybody got tested and things like that.
There was over 12 people. When the gatherings at that point, you had to do in secret because no one else could gather 10 or more. If you could do it all over again, would you do it the same way? Or would you allow people their freedoms and not harm New York City like you did? Today, I introduced you to Dr. J. Varma,
Harvard grad,
the man widely touted as the COVID architect in charge of New York City's COVID response, the right-hand man to Mayor Bill de Blasio, who in his own words convinced the mayor to do the mandate. In short, the man who brought down a city that had 2,800 small businesses closed, never to be reopened, a city of failing test scores after over 1 million students were kept out of classrooms for more than a year, and a city where tens of thousands of New Yorkers simply left. Today's Mug Club Undercover video saw Varma brag to our journalist about his medical background at places like the CDC, his newfound celebrity.
It's kind of a treat to hear you describe me as a celebrity.
His influence over the city. How he was able to force mass vaccination on people by making them, quote, uncomfortable through applying both financial and social pressure. And he even gleefully bragged that he was the man responsible for making it impossible for Kyrie Irving to play for the Nets. I wonder how Mr. Irving feels about that.
So I like to keep that stuff private.
Of course, Varma himself wasn't affected. While New Yorkers were allowed to gather indoors and many watched their loved ones die alone, he bragged about having drug-fueled sex parties. You can watch the whole piece by clicking the link in the description there. But something important here, in reviewing the footage, one thing stood out to me. Not once did he show anything resembling remorse.
Yeah, you can keep it. Yeah.
Never once did this man, the trusted authority for New Yorkers and for many across the country, ever seem to have a remote interest in self-reflection or even the possibility of acknowledging the destruction that residents faced as the result of his policy. And if he's so sure about the righteousness of the policies he advocated, why didn't he follow them? Why did he demand submission through fear from the citizens of New York over something that he did not fear himself at all? That's the question that ate at me, and one that hasn't been answered by any of those caught violating their own guidelines since 2020, from Gavin Newsom to Gretchen Whitmer to Nancy Pelosi. Now, we may never be able to get them to answer, but today, I was able to ask Dr. J. Varma.
Oh my gosh!
There you go.
Nice to meet you.
No, we do some corporate events and stuff like that too. So he's one of those clients. Yeah.
Yeah, we actually had a problem with one of the. I'll talk to you about it later, but.
Oh my gosh, this is so random.
I know.
Like, what are the odds in New York City?
Well, I wasn't supposed to be here, but I just got into town here yesterday. So.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, how exciting! Well,
are you good?
We're just.
I haven't been here.
What are you doing right now?
Supposed to be working, but I don't think I'm.
Okay. Do you want to have?
Yeah, grab a drink. Grab a
Okay,
drink.
cool. We're gonna have one drink and then get out of here. So.
Sure. Yeah. Do you mind if I grab this chair?
Oh my gosh.
Does that work? Okay, I'll speak.
So what do you work on then?
Well, I work in media. But, it's one of those things, big guilt complex. So we have to do these fundraisers every now and then. And it's like, save the koalas or turpid sloth or whatever the hell it is.
So you're saving the whale?
It's an environmental thing. Or not. I don't really know how much we're. You hope the money goes to the right place.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So how do you treat each other?
Healthcare. He's really smart. Yeah.
Was that funny?
I don't know why.
I would assume.
That's a very interesting way. Like, he's very smart.
Well, I mean, anyone. I just remember like hating whenever I took some sort of science class or whatever. So when I do meet anyone in healthcare, I'm like, okay, I already know that you're like.
But that's always the thing. Like, you get attracted to like. I'm interested in people who have skills that you don't have. Right?
Yeah.
Like when I hear people who are like artistic and stuff, I'm always like, oh, wow, like, do because I can't draw.
Well, I would be scarier if you said he's in healthcare. He's really dumb.
Yeah, I know, right?
Last words for anesthesiology.
I'm so sorry, my boss is calling me. I have to say, I will be right back. Sorry, you two get to know each other for a second.
There was a period during which there were no restrictions, no mandatory restrictions in New York, and I know this, I was always on the ball. There were no mandatory restrictions, and there was widespread COVID. And what happened? The entire city shut down because no cafe had a work.
My point is, when there were shutdowns and restrictions, it seems like rules for thee, not for me, if you're having sex parties with people in hotels.
I think the idea with all of that was basically, again,
if you're having sex parties and dance parties with 200 people while people there get punished if they're...
Guys, let me tell you something about creepy about this man, Dr. J. Varma. We can't find really nothing on his, childhood, background, where his people comes from, anything. Who is this man, Loki?
And at the risk of sounding racist, I would assume he's either Indian or Nepali.
Yeah.
10 or more at a gathering, or more than 40, and you have a dance party of 500 people. That seems like... My question is, you obviously doing that...
Isn't that true with everything, though, in life?
No, not everyone's having sex parties when they encourage lockdowns for other people.
No, but there's a million rules.
If you weren't afraid of it, why those policies, my point? If you're afraid of it, you wouldn't be having sex parties and you wouldn't be having dance parties with 200 people when everyone else is locked down.
No, because I'm saying that it's not...
And not checking for vaccinations.
It's not individual.
Right?
No, those are totally different issues. I mean, I think
you know what I'm talking about.
What I'm trying to get at is the main issue.
Like, bro, if y'all can find something on his early childhood or like his family life, bro, I mean, you can't. Who is this man? How do you get to this high position without having no family life, no background, wrote no biographies, nothing? Like, who are you?
No, it really is. It's not about individual level risk. It's the same thing as driving.
But it is about you as a government official being the architect of the policy,
so those things are
having sex parties and having dance parties while businesses are being shut down. And New York sees an unemployment that's twice the national average as a result of policy.
During the time, I was going to these dance parties in the first year and a half of COVID. I don't know what you're talking about.
You weren't having sex parties? And then dance parties?
No. My wife and I had a party with 10 people who everybody got vaccinated. Not vaccinated, everybody got tested and things like that.
There was over 12 people when the gatherings at that point you had to do in secret because no one else could gather 10 or more. People were dying alone because they couldn't visit members in the hospital.
I think you're missing the bigger picture.
And when you had 200 at the dance party, that's 5 times the amount for everyone else living in this city.
I wasn't at any big... I don't know why you're talking about me specifically. I wasn't at any dance parties. I was literally working.
Yeah, you did. You had a dance party of 200 plus people. You didn't check their vaccination status.
No, I went to?
Yeah.
Just when? Oh, we're trying to move in.
No, they want to bring it up.
So our parents are coming this week, actually, later this week.
In the summer, I think the first time I went to a dance party was the summer of
coming from Korea.
20...
you understand, though, how that's a tough sell to the American people, the business owners.
We had an outdoor event in July.
I get to spend more time with
the summer
of food or something.
COVID or something like that.
And then
I think we were at an outdoor event in the summer of 2020.
I don't know how much
I wasn't at an event this summer of 2020.
So
it was an outdoor event.
You had sex parties.
You have a dossier on me?
Yeah.
Why? What is going on here?
Well, a lot of people have been affected by this policy, and my question is genuine. It's just level with me here.
More offensive?
Dude, you weren't afraid of it. Here, we got the mandate clip.
Why? What is going on here?
Get vaccinated? Sex parties. That you had sex parties where you rented a hotel. Everyone had a blast. The timeline is during the time when people were still being locked down. And then he had dance party later on.
That heart sunk to his socks at this moment when he realized old girl who he was trying to turn on, who he was trying to get to join one of these sex crazed parties was in fact a mole. Yeah, that's the moment where your heart literally drops down to your socks.
Yeah. I think the main reason he didn't just walk up and go away is because he kind of want to know, how much do you know?
Yeah, honestly. You said you have a whole dossier on me. What's in there? What do you...
On God, I try to get up and go. Then the cameraman right behind him going to try to clothesline his ass. Nah, we need that, bro. We need that.
2021. This was in May or June of 2021, which still would have been 5 times beyond the amount that everyone else in the city was permitted.
Yeah, so when the war happened, and they split.
Yeah, the summer of 2021.
And Kyrie Irving wasn't able to play basketball because he wouldn't be vaccinated. But you're at a dance party.
What's going on? Are you trying to like?
Yeah, I can tell you. So I'm Steven Crowder.
Okay. Yes, it is.
I
Gotcha.
know everything that you have been talking about.
Okay.
And a lot of people have been negatively affected by your policies.
They're coming
And I just want you to level with me at this point. If you were living where you're not afraid of it,
we're gonna try to say,
I mean, right now you're giving me the story of it's only a certain amount of people who wear a mask. You're having sex parties while that's happening. You're having dance parties.
I'm also telling stories to somebody.
And you also,
it's probably better if you get married.
and the teachers, you have kids. I mean, New York, the results have been abysmal. I mean, the decline in mathematics and education, the reading levels, it's twice the national.
But now, I don't know.
At what point is there some accountability or culpability for people in this city? This city is not what it was.
I liked moving in with Jordan.
You're the architect of COVID policy. If you could change it, would you still do it?
Yeah, when you live with someone, whether they're a roommate
And you
or...
were
Would you still do it?
I didn't realize that I was being set up for something.
I'm Steven Crowder, and this is going to be for the public to see. If you have anything that you want to say about it. I have that question. I have one more question. De Blasio, is he a weenie because he didn't enforce more authoritarian measures, or is he a weenie because he didn't stand up to the teachers union who irreparably harmed children?
Yo, they're contemplating in his mind like,
is he a weenie because he didn't do more to lock people down while you were living high on the hog? Or is he a weenie because he didn't have the spine to stand up to the teachers union, who I think we would both agree
My dad was saying like, oh, he read this news article.
corrupt and didn't do what was in the best interest of the kids and harmed a generation of students.
He's like, oh, it's very logical. And then my mom's like,
that boy ain't got nothing to say. He's just like, yeah, how long I gotta deal with this? Actually, he's just reading out. Like I said, the only reason he's sitting there listening, he kind of just want to know, all right, bro, throw everything you got, and I'm just gonna hear it out.
on the more
I'm not sure there's a single.
I wanted kids in school. The mayor wanted kids in school, but the teachers union didn't. The teachers union wanted all the teachers to stay home with Zoom so they'd be safe, even though it means the kids get hurt. So the mayor was screwed. But then he said he has to work for them for like votes.
I'm not gonna be like, that's a jurist way to ensure you'll never get...
You know how tough that is for a parent to take?
Yeah. It's the long game, like you're saying.
Dude,
Do you have children in school?
It's the same thing. In 5 years, it won't really matter what in order to get it in.
How do you think Kyrie Irving's going to react?
Exactly.
Lawsuit.
When he wasn't allowed to play basketball. And the people who enacted that policy were having orgies, effectively.
There's a lot of weight to it.
I'm not sure there's anything that I'm going to say that you would report accurately, so I'm not sure.
These are your quotes.
Yeah, you know, I'm also babbling in what I thought is a date with somebody. And my wife and I have an open relationship. That is not something I'm afraid to talk about.
No, I'm not judging your sexual choices.
I have no qualms. You can talk about my wife. You can talk about me.
I'm judging the violating of policies that you enacted that decimated businesses and families while having sex parties.
There was one that I can remember.
And dance parties.
I went to a party
while other people, if they would have done so, if they didn't have the luxury of government protection, could have been arrested.
In the summer of 2021, things were open.
The guidelines were 10 people or less. Not indoor gatherings.
I'm sorry. Well, actually, by the way,
I had to be kind of sneaky about it, rented a hotel, because hotels didn't want people gathering there in line with the policy that was your architecture. Because I was like running the entire COVID response in the city.
We're talking about the dance event, though, by the way. I wasn't actually working for the city anymore at that time. I actually officially ended my response. I officially did my break in April 30th of 2021.
Yeah.
And I was, at that time, I was purely consulting.
So just the remnants of your policy that you were violating at that
There were other people setting policies at that time.
Yeah, but you believe in those policies. You encourage those policies. You encourage more aggressive policies.
But there was not a gathering restriction in the summer of 2021, was there?
Yeah, it was. It was 40 people or less.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Bro, you guys.
You know what? I don't blame you. It was really hard. It was really hard to keep track of that, wasn't it? At that point in time.
Well, I wasn't in the summer of 2021, were there still restrictions on?
When you were just a citizen at that point, and you have to step past the landmines laid by people like you who are now in your position.
I don't think there were restrictions on indoor gatherings, were there? I don't remember, actually, honestly. I have to go back and look to be sure. But no, I wasn't a city employee at that time.
What about pressure? Using mandates to pressure people and harass people? It's just to make them feel uncomfortable enough that they'll do what you want them to do. Is that how government serves their people in New York City?
I think the way government works in general is I was using the speed limit example, and you sort of skip by that. You know, we actually, that's a reasonable analogy to how policies are set by government, right? We know there's a certain expectation, unfortunately, that not everybody's going to comply with the rules of law. Like, for example, right here, there's seats, there's a law.
Sure.
And so the main reason you set rules in government is so that you change, again,
to ruin people's lives.
You know, like people on the East Coast.
If you think that that's ruining people's lives,
with vaccines, it's like, oh, you can't get a job, you can't go to a restaurant, you can't go to school. It's like, I'm just going to get back.
I mean, he's trying to low key backpedal everything he said to that young lady, and it is a bit crazy. It's like, all right, dog, you said all this to this young girl. Like, bro, it'd be better off him saying, oh, no, I was just exaggerating. I was lying. I was trying to show out for the date, than him just trying to be like, wait, was that really going on then? I don't know, man. Shake my memory here. He's a psychopath. I think he enjoys this. Like, you know them, like, killers that kind of like being read out their crimes graphically, and they sit there in court and they just smirk like, yeah, I did that. Oh, yeah, I did that for sure. That's him right now in a way.
Yeah, that's why I said very audacious, man, to just boldly say this shit to a date. I mean, bro, you don't know who she is. I mean, obviously you didn't know she had a camera or anything like that, but like bragging about it, like, yeah, you can Google me, like that type of thing gets you wet. Like, hold on, bro.
Okay.
Like, you are a bold man, sir. A bold man. You naughty boy.
That sounds like destroying someone's life to me.
It is destroying people's lives. It's actually saving their lives.
So it worked like a charm in New York, even though you had a higher death rate than the average across the nation.
No, if you
higher than Dallas, Miami.
Are you kidding me? You don't know the numbers, man. Look at all the data on this. All of the numbers.
I do
all
have the
the
numbers.
Studies that are done on this. Have you actually looked at the epidemiologic data? I think we're done.
So the deaths in New York City actually were about 46,000.
Thank you very much.
558 per 100,000 residents. Miami was 13, so 494. Dallas
look at the data
was 284 per 100,000. So you had twice the rate.
Look at the data on after vaccines became available.
The data you released? Hell no, I'm not gonna look at that.
I'm good on that.
You actually want to look at the data on excess mortality.
Bro, that pretty much say, nah, ignore the independent data and go look at my data. Go look at the data I put
the
out.
data my research team did and analyzed and put out for everybody. Go look at that.
Wild.
It's abundantly clear everywhere.
Is it really? What is abundantly clear is can't get a job, can't go to school, can't go to a restaurant. This, of course, extends to running a business. I'll get a vaccine.
Example. Why, I don't understand how you don't understand the Omicron example.
I don't understand why you don't understand the freedom example while you're having gay sex parties and people are losing their livelihoods and people are losing their ability to play professional sports or, by the way, to be a manager.
He's funny for that because at no point did he say they were gay sex parties, but that is hilarious.
And it is wild. It's like, damn. So why everybody else wanted to play basketball and actually want to go outside and play? Oh, you was playing, all right. Yeah, you was playing. Like, man.
Bro.
A local company because you decide that they should be uncomfortable and feel harassed so that they get a vaccine.
It's the same reason we have regulations on everything.
To harass the American citizens?
No, the people in this restaurant, they have to have rules to keep track of how clean they are. Do you want all those rules?
How clean are sex parties while you're on lockdown? How clean are sex parties when you're on lockdown? Because most Americans, I would say, yeah, thanks.
It must have been real clean. It must have had all the hand sanitizer in the world. Like, what is going on here?
Damn, somebody came to check on that man?
I got the bill, so you don't have to worry about it if that's the case.
Okay, thank you, sir.
I'm a gentleman that way. I really was hoping you'd level with me, man.
Thank you so much.
It's very clear you weren't afraid of it, and it was rules for other
people. You're
people.
not actually interested in listening to things that I actually talked about. I tried to give an example about Omicron. You wanted a question about when things change and when they don't change. You know, when things, what happens when you have disease spread when there are restrictions in the world.
If you could do it all over again, would you do it the same way? Or would you allow people their freedoms and not harm New York City like you did? Looking back,
I think I think that everybody who worked in public health and healthcare during COVID was saving lives.
It's like one of these.
By harassing them and making them uncomfortable.
Our house now.
He's standing on it.
Saving lives.
No, that's not what he asked. I could actually agree with that point. Like, if you were on the front lines, if you were my bad. If you were a nurse, emergency worker, hospital worker, yeah, I do think you were saving lives.